Have you ever been in a place that feels perfectly safe, only to have that feeling just dissolve into fear? Well, in this explainer, we're going to deconstruct that exact journey. We're using a song's lyrics as our map to trace a paranoid episode all the way from its calm beginning through a really terrifying climax and into that tough fight to find a way back.
So our journey starts in a sanctuary. The lyrics paint this picture of just absolute peace and control, right? In golden rays I spin alone. This isn't just some room, it's a personal kingdom. But the whole story is about what happens when the door to that kingdom swings open to the outside world.
Okay, so first things first, we really need to understand this sanctuary that's about to be lost. The imagery here is so specific, so warm. You've got golden rays and sunlight wraps me like a song. I mean, that just feels like a warm embrace. But what's really interesting is what's not there. No fear, no clocks, no doors. This is a world without threats, without the pressure of time, without any barriers. It's a state of just complete freedom.
And just like that, everything changes. We're now in the shift from safety to fear.
And wow, the contrast between these two worlds is so stark. The warmth and the openness of the sanctuary, that feeling of being whole, it just completely collapses. The golden rays turn into shades of gray. And maybe most critically, that feeling of being a queen in your own space just dissolves into a total loss of control.
And here's the thing, the world itself hasn't actually changed. Only the perception of it has. That line, the city's whisper, is such a powerful way to describe how totally neutral sounds can start to feel hostile when you're looking through a lens of anxiety. All of a sudden, a friendly smile isn't a connection anymore. It's a threat.
All right, now we're diving into the climax of the episode, the part where the fear becomes physical.
So this brings us to a really central question, right? Beyond just the idea of paranoia, what does it actually feel like, moment by moment? And you know what? These lyrics give us some incredibly vivid answers.
I want you to notice how this isn't just a mental state. We're talking about intense physical symptoms. Every heartbeat loud and wild, your breathing stalls. There's this distortion of your senses, this feeling of eyes behind me, footsteps near. The entire world turns into an enemy, where every sound becomes a fight. And you're doing all this while battling the beast inside.
Now, a really key concept in the lyrics is this phrase, paranoia's inner child. It's such a powerful way to capture that feeling of regression you can have during intense fear. It's the state of total helplessness, where you feel like you've been reduced to a raw, vulnerable, almost primal version of yourself.
But even here, in the deepest part of the episode, there's this little flicker of resistance. The narrator tries to create some distance. I'm not weak is a way of holding on to their self-worth. And then, this panic isn't mine. That is such a profound attempt to separate their identity from the experience itself, to see it as this external force, not who they truly are.
And finally, from that absolute peak of fear, we start to see the beginning of the fight back. This is the path to resilience.
You know, the very first step back is just desire. The language makes this critical shift away from describing fear to actually articulating a want. I want to dance again. I want to breathe again. The narrator is making a conscious effort to remember their former self, that barefoot queen, and is starting to fight to reclaim that feeling. Resilience is never a sudden cure, right? It's a process, and here we see it laid out. First, you have to acknowledge the loss. Second, you state your identity. And whispering softly my own name is such a quiet, beautiful, powerful act. Third, you have to endure the pain. I'll keep walking through this flame. And it's that endurance that finally lets you reclaim your power and declare, this fear won't take what's mine.
Okay, so this is the real turning point. Remember that line from before? I'm not weak, I'm just not fine? Well, now that identity has been reframed. The narrator isn't lost. They're just temporarily undefined. It's a subtle but huge shift that all builds up to this powerful declaration of ownership. This fear won't take what's mine.
And this is where the song leaves us. It doesn't offer some simple, happy ending cure. The fear isn't gone. The narrator doesn't conquer it. They learn to ride it, to coexist with it.
But that final line, "but not alone," that changes everything. It's a statement about endurance, not eradication. And it leaves us with a final question. When we face our own fears, who or what is riding there with us?